And on the fourth conversation, I was like, oh my God, he's repeating himself. And so I had to scramble and find a new one. She's young, she's great. So I was asking her questions just about how to strategize. And I realized, I was like, you know what? Instead of asking her, I'm just going to go learn tax law. So
This,
Of course you did.
yeah, of course, yeah. I don't, I need an accountant. Let me go learn tax law.
yeah. So
Okay, so just so everybody knows, your son is here
yeah.
in the studio, and is there a superpower being driven? Yeah, I would say so. I see. We got two.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so you're accountant, you did tax law. Okay, that's where we're at.
But I actually also got a job at H&R Block.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming. Welcome to Less Than 1%. I still can't believe you're here. But we've had a lot of amazing guests on Less Than 1%, but really the focus is actually have a lot of people that say they want to be on it, and I won't let them. And some of them are my friends. Sorry. But it's because they don't have a story. Like, I mean, you have to fit that less than 1% story, and you definitely fit that less than 1% story. And we, by the way, before we start, I want Jordan to give the introduction you deserve.
All right. So sometimes the things that make you different is the thing that the world tells you to hide. For Lela Lee, that thing was a voice, raw, honest, and unafraid to call out injustice. It started as a comic strip. It became a movement. And it's proof that when you tell the truth, even if it's messy, you give other people permission to do the same.
Very nice. Yes.
Wow. Goosebumps.
Thank you.
And proof of that is how we met. So Jordan is also because we got to tell the world, because this, you know what? This is my sister from, what do they say? Sister from another mister. This is my sister. And I knew, I knew that we were kindred spirits because Jordan.
Oh, man.
What happened?
I'm really embarrassed.
It's your fault, by the way.
It's your fault. This is my fault. So we met at the LA Times Book Festival. And it was, it's very unconventional, to say the least.
Well, it was pouring rain.
It was pouring rain,
Yes.
first of all.
Yes.
Yeah. We opened our tent and we literally had a waterfall. And I was like, oh no, we can't do this. Literally, we're walking in puddles. And I'm thinking our tents have two separate curtains.
Like there's two tents.
Yeah,
You're thinking there's two tents.
So I tuck it over to the other side, not knowing there's only one layer in between us, and literally soaked everything you had in your tent.
Yeah.
And
you were not happy.
No.
You were not happy.
No.
And every scene in the books that I've read came out in that moment.
Oh man,
No, it was really bad. He felt really bad.
Well, I think after we fixed it, and at the end, I went over and I apologized.
No,
it stopped raining, and it all went well.
No, it was awesome. And
the
actually,
sun came out.
What was crazy is that obviously more people, you've sold more books than I have. So you had this line.
Oh my goodness.
That was when the sun did come out. And what was beautiful about it is that because they were in the line and they were waiting, they got to talk to me. So indirectly, you probably sold a bunch of books, of my books, not knowing. But I think that honestly, I love the spirit. And then when I actually came over and started reading, and because I didn't really even pay attention, and I'm hearing people talk in the background. It's like, oh, that's angry. And they're running in. They got the Instagram open. I'm like, wait a second, what is going on? I'm trying to sell this book, but you really did start a movement, and I just think it's amazing.
Yeah, it was really by accident. The story of it going way back to the very beginning was that I was in college and I had gone to an all-girls Catholic school. I had very strict Korean parents. I'm the youngest of 4 daughters, and I went to Berkeley, and it's so progressive. I actually, when I was a senior, um, one of my classmates' parents asked me what it was that I would end up majoring in or would choose as a major, and I said, "Oh, it'll probably be law because I can't be a doctor because I'm not good at science." And he suggested that I just take whatever class sparked my interest. Anything I was interested in, just take that class. So what was amazing about that was he was an adult who was giving me permission to do that. Whereas the other adults in my life were my parents were saying I had to be a doctor or a lawyer. And it's just the typical Asian parenting, tiger parent dream is to have their children be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer.
Right.
So that father of my friends really, really gave me permission from another authority source. Or so that freshman year, while I was scared of using the bathroom in my dorm, I took whatever class I wanted. And actually, what happened was I became really depressed because I felt that I was inheriting a world that was um, very unfair for females. I started learning terms of what it was I encountered that didn't sit right with me. Um, Misogyny, racism, sexism. I took a sociology class. I took an Asian American studies class. I took a women's studies class. And I started learning that the media, even when I was walking down the sidewalk and the billboards were doing the things that I was learning in my women's studies classes about, objectifying a woman's body. It would be a headless torso selling toothpaste or something.
Yeah.
And so I kind of went through this really melancholic, disaffected, unhappy. I was just not. I was just really upset, and I couldn't articulate or put into words all the things that I had lived through and was learning that I had to accept. And I had a friend who noticed I was really unhappy and said, he said, "You need to go laugh. Let's go to the Palace of Fine Arts. There's going to be an animation festival. It'll be funny. You'll laugh. It'll be great." So we went, and I ended up being so apoplectic at what I watched because they were all offensive. They were all cartoons made by guys. But the one that stuck out was of 2 girls, one fat, one skinny, and they went around chasing boys. And then the fat girl was so, I guess the word is thirsty, that she ended up getting SA'd, and she liked it. And so I came out of the theater. I was like, I can't even, also too, I didn't have any sex education. I went to a Catholic all-girls school.
Catholic all-boys school.
So the reason why I was afraid of using the bathroom was because when I was a sophomore, one of the teachers at the school, her daughter came back from college pregnant. And the story that the teacher told the school was that she sat on a toilet seat.
Yeah.
So-
No. That's legit. That I've heard that on.
Okay.
No. I've heard it 100 times. Yes.
100 times. Yeah.
Yes. And I think I don't know if that's because I went to all boys Catholic school also, and so I mean not next to the all girls school, but there are all these different things that you just didn't talk about.
Yeah.
So
One of the most important things of your life, they don't talk about.
Talk about it.
So that is why I was so afraid of using the bathroom. I would line the with toilet paper, and if I was in a rush, I would just aim. But it's. So I
Sorry. I mean, somehow I feel guilty for laughing on that one.
I wish I was a guy, right? But
Right.
but it was. So I went to and my parents never. I mean, they did not talk about that. It was so shameful. So when I went to college to this co-ed progressive
Uber progressive.
Yes, I felt like fresh meat. It felt,
Wow.
and I did it really, and also growing up in Asian cultures tend to be an obedience culture, so
Right.
it's very hierarchical, it's very rigid, and daughters are told to obey, and you're just told what to do. Basically, children, and I'm generalizing it, not all Asian
Yeah,
families
yeah,
are like
yeah, I
this,
get it.
but the ones that are more old-fashioned, with old world values, they see their children as extensions of their bodies, their arms. It's like, you should be doing what I tell you.
Yeah,
So I had a bit of that. So saying no to me felt like I was short circuiting. Like my programming was, I was not allowed to say that. So it was kind of, I just was, I was just the swirl of anguish, anger, confusion, um, you know, a self sabotage, all that stuff. And so my friend said, you should make a cartoon about yourself, call it Angry Little Asian Girl. I was like, you know what? I will.
wow.
So I
Wow.
went home that night and I had markers and typing paper and I just drew it. And because that father had said to take whatever class interested me, I was in a video class on Tuesday nights and no one got credit for it because it was just a kind of like a weird art class in the department. And I took it and nobody took it seriously. So when I called the to reserve the room for the equipment, I had it for the whole day. I could have had it for the whole weekend because nobody cared.
Nobody's even
Mm.
using it.
So I made this little video called The Angry Little Asian Girl the first day of school. And I had to put the papers that I drew on the animation table. And back then it was, the camera was flipped overhead,
Pointed down, yeah.
pointed down. And then I was recording it and then I put it together. I was watching it and I'm like, oh, wow, that's a big time lapse. I'll just hum to fill it because I didn't want to edit it because
Right.
it was just the learning curve was really, it was a big gap. So I didn't really know what I was doing. So I just knew that cutting it would take so much time. So I just started humming to sort of kind of like an improv. So sometimes mistakes are gifts is what I'm trying to get to that
Yeah.
to that sort of story. And then after I put it together, I watched it completely and I was like, I gotta hide that. That is so I'm no one's gonna like me. So I put it away. I had a VHS tape. I put it in a drawer and I just continued on with college. I graduated on time and then I had to work at my mom's dry cleaners and I worked there and it was during so the mornings are really busy and the evenings are busy because it's like
Right.
drop off and pick up and the rest of the day and in between is really slow. So I sat there and I just started like doodling, writing, and then I was also a volunteer photographer at the American Cinematheque, which is this art house, film house, theater that did weird obscure art house, independent, sometimes classic movie screenings. And because I wanted to be around storytelling, I volunteered as a photographer. So whenever there was a director, that programmer called me and was like, Leela, so and so is going to be at this Friday night screening. Come take pictures. So I was there every weekend.
Oh
And
wow.
after a year, she's like, why are you always here? What is your story? I said, "Well, Julie, I I am an actress and a cartoonist." And she's like, "Cartoonist? What? Wait, show me. What are you doing?" So I sent. Oh, let me backtrack. So uh, when I was out of college, I had a group of friends, and when you're young, you're all aspiring writers, artists, whatever. And I had a friend who was an aspiring screenwriter, and he got a hold of the South Park The Spirit of Christmas, and he showed it to us, and I was like, that kind of reminds me of mine. Like it's a small young kid that's got potty mouth,
Yeah.
and so I finally took it out of the drawer and I showed it to my friends, and they watched it, and they said, that's really funny. You should do more with that. So so during the long stretches of hours in between the rush hours at the dry cleaners, I started working on it again and I added 4 more episodes. So when the programmer at American Cinematheque had asked me what else I did, that's when I added cartoonist to my aspiring actress label.
Yeah.
So I sent it to her and she called me and she's like, I love it. I'm going to program it. We're going to
Wow.
put it before a feature length. And because she had connections to the LA Times and the LA Weekly, the critics got a copy of it beforehand. And the night of the screening, my sister called me. She's like, "Oh my God, Layla, you got reviewed. Go get the papers." And I was like, so nervous.
Wow.
So I got my quarters because it was back then. We
Yeah,
didn't-
yeah.
And I got them, and they were stunningly positive.
Wow.
I was really surprised because I was like, did the critics not watch? I mean, because it
Right,
doesn't
right.
move.
Right, right.
It's not truly animation. So I went to the screening, and it was the first time it was for a general audience. I stood outside with the other filmmaker of the of feature length, and yeah, like all these people came up to me. They're like, "I am an angry little Asian girl. She's saying everything I wanted to say. Oh my God, I'm her. Oh my God, I want a t-shirt." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll make
I want a
t-shirts."
t-shirt too.
So
Wow.
I looked up how to make t-shirts, and the next day I found, and this was before screen printing
Yeah, yeah.
fashion shirts was a thing. It didn't exist back
Right.
then. So I found a sporting goods store and I asked them to make a baseball uniform with the red raglan sleeve with the white. That was the first shirt because it was basically like a baseball uniform shirt. And I said, "Can you put this art on it?" He'd say, "Yeah, but you're gonna have to make more than 12 because for us to do the printing, it's the same cost, so you might as well make 300." So I was kind of doing the math, and I was thinking, I can't afford that. But how much? Are you sure this like 12 and 300? The prices are the same. So he was explaining
The screens and- yeah.
the setup. I was like, oh, okay. So I plunked down my credit card, and then 3 weeks later, or 2 weeks later, he calls me. He's like, "Your order's ready." I go down there, and I'm like, "What did I just do? Oh my God, I have 300 shirts." Because you like, it's just
Yeah.
a number, but when you pick up the boxes and you're putting it in your car, you're like, "This is a lot of shirts.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?" So I called up my 10 friends, and I was like, I did something really crazy and stupid. I made these shirts. Will you just buy one off of me for $20? And they did. And then they started wearing it out. And then I started getting calls from people I didn't know who came over to buy these shirts. And I'm like, this is really cool. I want to keep selling shirts, but not the safest thing for a young woman to have random people coming over.
Right, right.
I bumped into my cousin, and my cousin said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm selling these Angry Little Asian Girl t-shirts." And he said, "I'll make you a website." And I was like, "What? Okay, the internet. I've heard of that."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he said, "Come over." So we'll build the website. So we made the website, and it just became this. I guess I didn't
It's
know.
viral. You went viral.
I went viral.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know this till much, much later. It wasn't until I did a Comic-Con in Vancouver, and I was staying with a friend she actually became a friend. It was my friend in Canada. It was his aunt, and then she's very young, and she was saying she's very academic too. But she was saying that, Lela, you were one of the first artists to take to the internet, and I didn't really realize.
Your place in history.
Yeah, because when you're young, you're just doing
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then I later learned that I was taught in college courses. So this is the most recent guy came up to me at, I think it was San Diego Comic-Con. He was a student at Arizona State, and he said he actually did a paper on me, and it just blew my mind. It really was really kind of amazing that this little drawing, this little doodle that I did because I was mad.
But I think it's more. Tell me. I mean, I'm saying it, but it's really a question. It seems like it's more than just. I mean, it's clearly just more than a little doodle, right? Would you say like so my base energy is anger. So my base, like when I want to get something done, I write about it. If you tell me I can do something, I'm like your best friend. Oh, okay. But you tell me I can't, it's over. Like I will not stop until I can. So I had to learn how to channel that. Obviously, that's not always the base way. But is your base energy? Is this a representation of your
Yeah.
base energy? Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had I forget this book. This book really was profound, and I should know the title of it, but it talked about how there's a sentence that runs each of us.
Mm.
And that was what the book was about this sentence that ran this protagonist in the story. And at the end, they uncover the sentence, and it was so enlightening that I actually had to stop and think of what was my sentence. What's my sentence?
Mm.
And I got to it, and it's I'll show them.
Yes. Well, you could have probably wrote my book for me. 'Cause
Well,
that I show them. That is, I think that's one of the most powerful energies ever.
it can actually though, it can if it drives you too much, it can make you sick. If it drives you too much, your body will break down.
I think I am sick. So I
You
think
look
you're
healthy.
I do. I look it, but no, I actually, I think just like you said, you talked about mistakes, but I think everything is a gift and a curse, right?
Mhm.
Anger is a gift and a curse. Happiness, positivity, everything has its upside and its downside. And I think how successful you are is how well you use it, but how you feel about yourself is how well you balance those two. Because you can be angry. I mean, wonder if the statute of limitations applies. But there's
We can cut it. We can
I've
cut it if we
yeah,
have to.
yeah, cut it. Please edit this out if I incriminate myself. But I've been so angry growing up. I mean, I have fights and doing all kinds of stuff. And when I got older, I realized, okay, you can channel this. It doesn't have to be, you get anger and you yell, or you get angry and you hit something, So I have lots of questions. I realized
I
one
have
thing.
one real quick.
Mm.
Well, fresh off that story, you said you had some good reviews from critics. How did your family react to
That's a great
the way you
question.
were writing?
My family hated it.
Oh,
Yeah, so my mom would call me after college, and okay, so they sold the dry cleaners, and I was so relieved because as long as they had it, I had to
You
work
had to
there.
work there, of course.
So, when they finally did sell it, I was so relieved because it meant then I could go back to what I wanted to do. And because I had that initial success for the reviews and the t-shirts, I knew that there was potential there. And it wasn't that it was a calculated data driven thing. I just kind of had a fire that I knew I had to follow this. I also because I had a lot of buzz, I had a lot of meetings with studio heads, and one of the guys at a cable network, one of the studio people said, "There's no market for Asians." And I just thought, I don't think he
Wow.
knows what he's talking about. Like, I just think he's wrong. And while the media that was reflected at the time that I was young and starting out was blonde,
yeah.
Brunette, basically that was it.
That was it.
I just felt like there's got to be more people like me.
Actually, most people, right? It's almost like you were kind of the majority. Obviously,
Yes,
this representation was a representation of something that wasn't even real. in a way.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were the real one.
I think so. I mean, I just had to follow my hunch with that because I thought he was terribly mistaken, and I then said in my head, "I'll show him."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
I'm
made
telling
my
you,
own market,
that
kind
that
of.
was your Barry O'Shea.
Yeah.
Do you remember people who have doubted you? Do you
Mhm.
remember their names?
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember everyone's name. Like I got a bunch that I haven't even talked about. I'm saving them for other books. So I want to talk a little bit about from a heritage standpoint. You talked about because I have this. Of course, this is my favorite line right here.
That hits home.
I mean, you put the right one. I mean, there are other good ones in there, but this is the one that got me right. So for those, I don't know if you can see it, and it says moments with my mother. I got you a gift. Why are you wasting money? So I'm Jamaican, and so that's the idea that your kids or as kids that you're an extension of the family in whatever you do, i.e., you have to go to medical school, law school, or whatever, is a measure of the family's success or failure. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and this is there's so much in here that isn't just about saving money.
Mm-hmm.
This is not what you should be doing with your time. Are you proud of that heritage, or do you believe that heritage, your anger was generated from the fact that maybe you didn't fully agree with all of it?
Um, that's a
And did I
deep
get you? Oh
question.
man, I cut too deep too early.
That's got so many layers
Yeah.
of answers and reflections. And even I don't know if I can completely answer it because I don't know if that's the answer, but I am born to who I'm born to in the culture that I'm in. And I'm also, so I'm Korean,
Yeah.
but I grew up in California.
Mm.
So I'm Korean American. And I was sort of working this out with my therapist. I graduated from therapy, but not to say that I won't go back, but I felt like I overcame that issue of my life. But one of the things that I was parsing out was what part of the culture can I embrace that doesn't harm me? Because some cultures are, and some families hang on to old parts of culture that are harmful to their daughters.
Yeah.
And so for me, I had to figure out what part of the culture am I proud of and what part is just unfair. And so I was thinking about the motherland and then
Yeah.
also, the diaspora.
Mhm.
So I'm part of the diaspora and being in two cultures. And my therapist said, does a fish know it's wet?
Mm.
So meaning that he meant for me, I can't know what's abusive of my culture if I'm in it
Mhm.
until you see something else to compare it to. So sometimes certain cultures that are very cloistered or like, they used to call Korea the Hermit Kingdom.
Mhm.
And when I heard that, I was like, that really tracks. I feel that they're very rigid to outside ideas. Even though my family lived in Southern California, it was almost like they cherry picked which parts of American culture they'd let
The
in.
dichotomy
Mhm.
where you exist.
They only accepted like economic progress,
Yeah.
but none of the social.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, I feel that my upbringing and my heritage, my heritage is Korean, but my upbringing is in America. And because of that, I guess not positioning is not the right word, but because of that sort of placement of where I am culturally, I can point out, oh wait, I am wet.
Yeah.
Right.
This is
This ain't cool.
I'm dry.
Yeah.
Or like this. So I guess the uncomfortable part of that is then you have to figure out, well, what kind of water do I want to be in?
Mm.
So
Yeah, I mean, I think I had similar experience. I feel like I don't. Everybody asks me if I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan because I moved to Dallas, and I'm like, I don't know because I've never. I in some ways feel like I don't have a home, So I'm from Toronto of Jamaican descent. I'm an immigrant of immigrant state. My parents immigrated from Jamaica to Toronto, and then I immigrated to Toronto to New York at 18. So when people ask me what's my team, I'm like, I don't know,
mhm.
because I don't really feel I belong anywhere, but then I feel I belong everywhere. And so and I think what you pointed out was, especially at this time, not going to get political, but with just changes that we have politically, whether on either side of the spectrum, a lot of times I look at these things and I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense, and that doesn't make sense. And people are like, what do you mean? Who's your team? I'm like, I don't have a team. I'm from Canada, Jamaican. Like I have all these different ways to evaluate whether the water is wet or not. And so I think that I feel like it might be somewhat dichotomous and make people crazy, but then it's also something beautiful because you can actually see things that other people can't in either community, right?
Well, I mean, just to argue to your point and also your book is that you're not accepting the groupthink.
Not accepting it.
So
Absolutely.
you're
Yes.
a little bit more discerning about who it is you're going to give your allegiance to,
Yeah.
which I think is great.
Yeah. I mean, I think I empathize with what you said. Maybe I should get a therapist because it's a lonely place.
Mhm.
It's a lonely place to constantly, you're in the matrix and you took the pill and you're watching the lines go down and you realize that everything I grew up with or everything you taught me or whatever you taught me on how to be, that's not the way I want to be. And I think that your book is a great testament to authenticity, which 100% you have to be your authentic self.
Mhm.
Like, how much more greatness would there be in the world if we all were our authentic selves?
Mhm.
So that's awesome. I mean, I feel like it is so deep that your fans actually didn't let me get the real deepness of it. Because it's viral now. I mean, like, and they love it, but there's so many layers to how deep your story in the book goes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just Asian girls.
And it was the one guy, it was a boy
Mm-hmm.
that he was in the line. You actually gave him one of my
Yeah,
books.
yeah.
He threw it in the trash. But it was a boy and he was coming to get a book. So it's really amazing. All right, well, I'm going to go deeper.
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think your superpower is? Now, I'll give you a break and explain. It can't be I'm on time. It can't be something simple. It has to be something intrinsic to you,
Mm-hmm.
and also something that you can do and not lose energy. It doesn't take anything. You can do it all day and all night, and you don't even know the time has passed. So, what do you think your superpower is?
Overthinking.
Overthinking as a superpower.
Okay, so the reason why I say that is because when I was little, I would ruminate over situations where I didn't get to say what I really wanted to say. So I would think about,
You're kind of editing.
Yeah.
or I would have said this, and if
Do you swear?
You can only read
Yeah.
one.
Okay, I was gonna say.
but if you think about it, I made that into my job.
Yes. Yeah.
You did.
I go back and I give my characters like
Parts of you.
parts of me. I give them really snappy comebacks.
Mm.
So I enjoy thinking, and if something rubs me the wrong way, I always think about why did
Yeah.
what is going on there. So I will work at something and analyze it till I get to like, oh, that's it.
Okay. We're gonna have to narrow that down. So you because you started with overthinking and then you ended up with insight,
Mm-hmm.
which tell me, or is that the same thing?
Well, I think when you overthink, you're taking
You're being
all
more
aspects.
insightful. You're bringing in a bunch of different things.
Yeah, because what it is you're just taking all the data
Okay.
and
Okay.
you're analyzing all the, well, is it their age?
Yeah.
Is it their background?
Did you do that with us when he put all the water into your booth, or were you
Yeah,
just?
you had to bring it
No.
up. You had to bring it up.
I just well.
I
you know-
was actually overthinking. I was thinking, oh my God, they think I'm such a pain in the ass.
No, no,
I
no. We were devastated. We were devastated.
I actually
and
was-
that weekend kind of was weird, right?
It was
Like
really
it was raining in Southern Cal. Tony. What do you?
Yeah.
Raphael Sadiq, come on, man. It never rains in Southern
No,
California.
it does rain.
I
It
know,
rains.
I lived in Southern California, so I know it rains, but it had to rain on the day. Okay, so insight.
Mm-hmm.
Insight, processing, insight. Okay, so you think if we asked, by the way, I met, was that your husband?
Ken.
Okay,
Yeah.
Ken. Now, I don't know how he is. I just met him that day, but he seems like a really nice, amazing guy. He was just out there cool and calm. I'm like, and we started talking. I talked to him all day.
Yeah, you did.
All day. Okay, so what we do on the show is we ask other people, could be, your husband or whoever you want to call, what your superpower is. And so we're saying
Overthinking.
Overthinking.
Yeah.
Overthinking. Okay. So now we're going to call.
Do I do speaker?
No, just regular. It's already coming through.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll be able to hear it.
You can turn it up if you want the volume.
Oh, I can hear fine.
Okay.
Hello?
Hi, Ken.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
good.
I remember
how's it going?
this is your friend from the LA Book Fair. We were next to you.
Yeah. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Just eating some lunch here.
Oh, awesome. We're
little-
sorry to bother you. We're doing the podcast, and what we do on these podcasts is we ask our guests what their superpower is, and so
Uh-huh.
now we're going to ask you, what is your wife's superpower?
He's very driven.
Driven?
Yes.
Give us an example.
If she says that she's going to write a book, she's going to go write a book. Very focused. I don't know if she told you this, but when she first taught herself to draw, she was so focused that she would actually unplug. Back then, we had landlines. She would actually unplug the phone in the house, so she has no disruptions, no.
Wow.
No. Yeah.
That's different.
That is different.
Yeah.
That's different. Okay. So she said that
I said my superpower was that I overthink.
That's more of a. That's more as you got older.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. You do it over the as you got. Yeah.
Maybe I stress more.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
I think the driven fits. The driven.
Yeah. Whether it's writing or licensing or drawing or events, it's just very focused and driven.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you, and sorry to disrupt your lunch.
Oh no problem.
And good talking to you again. I told her that at the book fair that you and I just talked the whole time.
Yeah.
I didn't get to talk to her till the end.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you, Jen.
Bye.
Driven. I think. If you had to, what do you think?
I am. It goes back to the I'll show them.
Yeah.
So also, I know that I'm out there, and so when I put stuff out there, I want it to be the best
Mhm.
it could be. So I stress a lot about details.
I think that's true. I think that's driven. I mean, I think maybe overthinking or reworking or over processing might be the how,
Mhm.
but the core of it sounds like the core is like you're just driven to make an impact, or driven. What do you think is the thing that makes you decide? I mean, once you saw that this is going to be a thing, why not just do it? What makes you go that extra mile?
Well, I feel also I've not fully told the story, the point of view from which I come from. I just feel like I have these amazing conversations with fans at my booths at events. And I just feel that the kind of the worthlessness I felt as an Asian daughter is
Yeah.
very common. And so I feel I have a greater mission to heal that.
See, that's your why.
Yeah.
That's your why.
And I think because you're a healer, you're a doctor, you're also
Yeah.
thinking about how to better people's lives. But it's not just it's not just a superficial thing, it's holistic.
Yeah.
And so while you're a doctor, I'm an artist,
Yeah.
but we're doing things in different methods, but
Yeah, the method is just the how. So I did an interrogative, like why, Simon Sinek and his why statement. So he and I are friends, and I went to his place, and he did this why interrogation. That's what I called it, because I didn't like it. And no, I hated it, man. Like because he cut me deep. He asked like deep questions, and I went from almost crying to laughing my tail off. But we came up with, or he came up with, and I agreed with it. He says, my why is that I inspire people to do the work to be greater than they ever thought they could be. And when he said that, I was like,
wow.
like I was like, okay, that's it. Like I didn't understand. And it's not, I think that's why a lot of people ask, like, Moo, why are you doing a podcast? Why are you writing a book? Like, I'm a healthcare CEO. What are you doing? And I was like, no, I feel like I can impact the world, and I didn't know what it was. And so we went through that, and I was like, oh, I get it now. And so not once he said that, but when I realized, then it was like, whatever, dude. And he knows, because Jordan's helping me in my madness. Everybody asks, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing so much? What are you doing this for? This makes no sense. And I'm telling you, I'm like, listen, no, I think we can change the world. I can change the world, even though I can't. So,
well, you never know. The message that we have as healers, artists, hopefully good politicians,
yeah,
is it needs to be amplified. So you need to have platforms like a podcast to
Yeah.
reach people, because it's where will it be heard if you just keep it in your journal?
right.
So
And I think creatives, to your point about creatives are different. I think that authenticity is unique to creatives. You can't, I think there are people that are super successful in the creative genres. I think they can be, but I think the ones that are really the savants are that they're being their 100% authentic self. Like I was watching Denzel Equalizer, and I was thinking to myself, you are like your your approach to this. I mean, from all the different roles he's had over time. I mean, it's just amazing what he can portray. But that's a segue to what you call me. You call me because we're scheduling the time, and we're trying to figure out schedules. And then you're like, hey, I might get this part. And I'm like, part? What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, part? And then you text me.
Yeah, I was watching. I was binge watching Shameless actually, and I had no idea you were even on there, and I was watching, and I was like, that lady looks familiar.
So how? I mean, you left. That was a whole other part. How did that? Not just that particular, but in general, the acting and
how did acting happen?
Yeah, because you were on Tremors too, the series.
Yeah, I was on Tremors. I pop up every now and then on different shows. I was a really shy kid. I was so shy, people could not hear what I said. So in middle school, this is when I got that note. So also, it was just a very awkward time, because puberty is just so painful for everybody. My one of the electives I could take was public speaking. So I signed up for it so I could overcome my problematic voice level. And then when I was in high school, I got involved in student government, and I started giving speeches to get elected. And then I auditioned for a play. I kind of didn't really pursue that, but I was at Berkeley, and the Korean Student Association was putting on a play, and they could not find any actors.
yeah.
But because I was friends with some of the KSA members, they knew that I had been in student government and was in a play. So they encouraged me to audition, and I ended up getting the lead part. And then after I did, it was a one night performance. So after I did that, a lot of people were saying, you should really look into acting. So took I took drama as well. So I was a double major with rhetoric and drama. And then my junior year, I pursued acting. I decided to leave Berkeley and go to LA and become an actress. But I didn't like the stereotyping that I got.
Yeah.
So I got fed up and I was like, no, I'm going to go back to Berkeley, get my degree. And I still was very compelled. My internal compass was saying to go towards storytelling. So all of that is related to telling a story. And then, so I made Angry Little Asian Girl in college, but I was also a drama major. But when I graduated college and I was working at my mom's dry cleaners, I was also taking auditions. And then I just became a working actress. It kind of happened really quickly and faster, but I was also doing the comics. So they kind of went in hand. And when I didn't have any acting jobs, I focused on this. And then when I was busy with acting, I would put that on pause, or I kept it so that I did this comic. The output is every week. So I chose that output schedule because it was something that I could keep up with if I was busy acting. So I did both. And then I felt like it was a way for me to, I don't know if acting's like the right word, but like body work, like it just you're using physicality, your voice, storytelling. And I don't know therapy modalities very well, but my therapist had said that storytelling and narrative and acting can also help in healing traumas. So I think that's why I wanted to do it, and I still do it.
So there's a theme for the first time. How long have you been married?
23 years.
23 years. So for the first time in 23 years, your husband is right. Driven is the right superpower. So you are in school, right? I'm in school. I don't like to talk. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go take a class about talking. You're driven. Like there's no other, I mean, why normal people, when people don't like talking, they don't take classes where they have to learn how to talk. That is special. That's not most people.
Well, I feel like whenever I don't know something, or I feel like something's in my weak spot, oh my gosh, you're going to love this story. You're going to love this story. So I got dropped by my accountant because I went from a royalty-based business to selling product, because after my kids got older, I sort of went back to work, but the shopping landscape was different. The model of it had to change. So I decided I would manufacture my own products. So I would, at the end of the year, when it was time, I'd just throw all this stuff at my accountant, and he was like, "What are your COGS?" And I was like, "What are COGS?" And he was like, "Oh my God." So he put up with me for like maybe 3 tax seasons. And then he was like, "I can't do this." So he dropped me right before the tax returns were due. I'm frantically searching for a replacement accountant. By the way, if any young kids need a job, there are not a lot of young accountants replacing old accountants. So it's kind of a
gap.
There's a big gap there. So I did find a young accountant, because the one that we had before her was this 80-year-old man. My husband and I, we took a meeting. He's like, "Lela," he goes, "Lela, are you sure about this?" I'm like, "He's all I can find." So he called me several times, and on the 4th conversation, I was like, oh my God, he's repeating himself. And I had to scramble and I found a new one. She's young, she's great. So I was asking her questions just about how to strategize. And I realized, I was like, you know what? instead of asking her, I'm just going to go learn tax law. So I
This,
Of course you did.
yeah, of course. Yeah. I don't, I need an accountant. Let me go learn tax law.
yeah. So
Okay. So just so everybody knows, your son is here
yeah.
in the studio. And is there a superpower being driven? Yeah, I would say so. I say we got two.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so you're accountant, you did tax law. Okay,
Uh-huh.
that's where we're at.
But I
now.
actually also got a job at H&R Block.
Oh,
I worked there. So actually, they hired me because I passed the test. Because, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just kind of do a plug. I think it's a great program. It's $149 for a 3-month class. It's very rigorous. You have to sit there for 3 hours twice a week. There's a lot of reading. But every time I'd finish reading a chapter, I'd come out of the bedroom and I'd say, Ken, did you know that you could write off this? And this tax law is this.
my gosh.
And so I ended up passing. I barely passed. You have to get a 70%. I got 71.
Hey, it's passing. Hey,
And then they ended up recruiting me. And I was like, okay, this would be a really neat experience. I'll just do this for one season. And then I got cold feet and I tried to quit. But then they called me like 2 minutes later after I sent an email saying, thank you so much.
right.
Before you...
Offered you more money.
No, I didn't want it.
Oh,
I just was like, I'm a creative. I just was learning for myself. Anyways, my goal was to not get fired and to not quit. And I did that.
nice. Okay, I have a. Okay, so first of all, I have to. So to show everybody that
You can open it.
I can open it, I don't want to. I was like, at Christmas,
Yeah.
I'm like, I just tear things, but then I get around people and I'm a little nervous, like, let me open it properly. But I want to show everybody this because back there, because my whole thing is disrupt, and I think that when I wake up in the morning, I try to disrupt, and then yours is like disobey,
Love is
I-
not
I-
obedience.
and I love that actually. So I want to ask you one thing, but I'm going to give you this. So the whole all boys Catholic school. I was in a different situation. I was in a Jesuit school,
Mhm.
and the Jesuits have, well, at least I don't know if this is true of all Jesuits, but at least the ones that I was at, I was a disruptor, and I didn't know it. I didn't know what that was before I actually started kind of researching to do this book. I didn't characterize what a disruptor was. Usually, a disruptor was a bad thing,
Mhm.
before. So they said that you shouldn't believe in anything. I'm like, what kind of priest are you? Like you're supposed to, that's what you do. You go, you have faith and you believe. They said, no, that's not what we teach. We teach that anything that you are going to believe in, that you need to question violently.
Mm.
And I was like, yo, this is you guys, it was amazing. So there would be things that instead of just learning and reading the Bible or reading whatever, I would read that. I'm like, I don't agree with that. My big thing was like, there's no black people in the Bible. Like I would do all these different things because I really just wanted to disrupt. And then I would go and I'd read a bunch of stuff and I'd look at history texts and look at other books. And I was like, wait a second, that's that's kind of the not killing people. That's kind of, but going through that mindset. And I think that's for me what disruptive mindset is. It means that everything you hear, everything you learn, you automatically disagree. You'll tell me stuff, even when we were talking, I'm like, I don't know if that's true. But then as you communicate more, you're like, oh yeah, that's true. So that mindset is interrogative, it's thoughtful, it's constantly challenging. And I think it's kind of a lost art to your point. Like we get to the point where we just accept what we're told. But I have a question for you.
Mm.
That was kind of, have you ever thought about sharing the stories of those people that you interact with that, tell you their life story and again, Asian as a group is probably not fully parsed out, right? Because there's differences, obviously. But it seems to me that there's a book somewhere where it's the interactions that you've had with people that have almost the same way of viewing them, where they're having that fight through that dichotomy
Mhm.
and they're living through it and they're learning through it and they're crying through it and they're happy through it.
Mhm.
Is this something on your?
Yeah,
Okay.
actually, I have been writing. So when
the-
COVID hit, I got very scared of my mortality, and I told God I was not done.
Yeah.
He could not take me because I had some things to do. And I immediately started writing because I have a lot to say. So I've been sitting on a book for over 20 years. I did finish it,
Okay.
and then I just started writing a whole bunch more because while I don't have a book agent right now, whoever it is will come, and then I have a lot more. But one of the things that I did when I had to wake up my business after my kids went to school and were older, I started doing pop-ups. So,
Yeah.
the book festival is one of the events that I do. But there was a year that I just did anything and everything I could get into. And it was so much work. It was grueling work. I think I threw out my shoulder. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's like, I'm hoisting these grid panels up, and I'm driving the van to these locations. And it was such a really interesting experience because I met so many interesting people. I had great conversations, and then I just decided I've got to write these things
Yeah.
down.
Mm-hmm.
There was one woman who, she walked by my booth. She saw I Survived the Asian Mom t-shirt. She goes, oh my God. and then she left. And I kind of knew, I know my people. We're very frugal.
Yeah.
So at another event, the biggest compliment was this guy was like, you make me want to spend my money.
Yeah.
He's
That's
like,
the ultimate compliment.
yeah.
He sacrificed his entire existence.
Right. So he was very carefully picking stuff out, and I price things very like at all ranges,
Yeah.
and also like little things. So it's the whole, like, every economic palette is served.
Yes.
Because I kind of am that way. I know that feeling. So I was very honored when he selected 3 items. But anyways, this back to the woman. She came back and she said, "Oh, my husband said I should get that shirt." I said, "Okay, tell me why you want that shirt." And she said, "Well, yeah, I don't talk to my mom,
Mm.
and I'm gonna get the country wrong, but it's like Kyrgyzstan." She said, "I'm from Kyrgyzstan," and I'm like, "How did you get here?" She told me the long story of how she left, and now she's here, and she's married, and I'm sort of abbreviating. I'm just like making it very short, but she shared with me a story about how she was so mistreated just because she was a daughter, and so she was saying that her brother, when he went to school, wait, let me tell this right. So when she was starting kindergarten, they just dropped her off at the edge of the city, and they're like, "Good luck, go find the school." And she had never been there, so she was just roaming, and then she got to school. And then she said, when my brother went to school, they threw a party for the whole village, and they slaughtered 3 animals, and it was a big to-do. And I was like, "Oh my God, for university?" She said, "No, for kindergarten."
Oh my goodness.
And it was so outlandishly ridiculous because it sounded like Sacha Baron Cohen's, like his bit that he does with, I forget the character.
Oh yeah. I know
That character that he
Borat?
does.
Yeah.
Borat.
Yeah.
Borat.
So so actually, after she left, I had to look up the country that she was from, and it's right in between Russia and China.
Yeah.
Because she also had these striking eyes that were light, but she had, black hair. And I was thinking, oh, in this modern day and age in America, people are still dealing with these really outdated, archaic, culturally gendered oppression
Yeah.
in their
Yeah.
families. And she was still living with a lot of pain about how her mother kind of hated her.
Yeah. I mean, I think those stories, because I think, you're the authority. I mean, it sounds, sort of walking through your development of your voice, to give voice to others that are not nearly as developed would be. I think that would be super powerful. So that's
Yeah.
just one undersold author's opinion.
Oh, yeah,
But
thank
I
you.
think super powerful. what I'm interested in a couple more things. One, what are you working on that you want everybody to know about? Is there something that, so where do I go to consume you?
Okay, so my website is angrylittlegirls.com. I always have a weekly comic strip.
Okay.
Without fail, it's on Monday mornings. I am hoping, I would like to partner up with an animation company.
Okay.
I feel that it's time. I mean, I've tried before, and it's been the traditional studio systems has not really worked for me. So I feel that
From a creative standpoint, what's been the hindrance there?
the hindrance has been that my first encounter was that the executive asked me to take the Asian girl out. And
Right.
then I passed on that, and then that's when I switched and called it Angry Little Girls. But
Yeah.
kept the Angry Little Asian Girl as the star. So that's what's called cultural switching. I didn't know
Yeah.
that was a thing until I came across it in one of these books I was reading about Asian American studies. But a lot of marginalized communities, we do a lot of cultural switching. We
Yeah.
act one way at home and then act.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I had a deal with the studio, and they wouldn't let me write. But one of the notes that the other writer and I got was, "Where's Leela's voice?" And I was like, "You wouldn't even let me write it."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay, like, so it's again, the way the system is set up for cultivating new voices
Yeah.
is counterintuitive to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yeah, different genre, and I could whine about the book industry and going through, trying to keep that creative control and really understanding. I mean, I said it earlier. I think that you get people that write about businesses that have never built a business.
Mm-hmm.
People write about business culture. One thing with my book, the problem is where does it fit? And they're like, well, you use sports analogies, and you talk about a Jamaican revolutionary, and you talk about Apple, and you talk about Bob Marley. Like, we don't know where to put that. Like, get rid of something. And I'm like, no, but that's the story I want to tell.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's.
And there's also there's a thread.
Yes, yeah. There's a connection.
There's total connection.
Yeah.
So I would argue against that.
Well, I did, and that's why I didn't go with that publisher. But yeah, I think in writing about disruptors, you're an absolute disruptor. Yeah. No, you are. I mean, you fit all the disagreeable.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. That's your disagreeable in a way that's not just I'm upset at you, but that I will not accept the status quo. Whether it's in my own culture or whether it's in the new culture that I'm in. But you're optimistic, right? Your ability to impact people and change the world. And then the last one is you're relentless. And your husband said that about you. So you fit the criteria for a less than 1%er. That's official. You're part of the family, whether you like it or not. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, I have to say, I wasn't sure what this book was about. So you
Right.
gave me this copy at the book festival.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually think you were going to have me on your podcast. I know you said that, but I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know. And then when
Actually,
you
what he said when we had that whole situation, when we first met, first thing when we told him the story, he said, "We're going to be friends after this."
Yeah. No, but
Oh no,
but I'm telling you,
what he said.
the just again, less than 1%. You already fit. Like you already fit. Like you were trying to sell, you're trying to make an impact, and we got in the way. In a weird, you knew it wasn't us per se. But no, you
just got
were
my
family.
merchandise wet.
You're a family. Anyway, we cut you off.
What was I saying?
I knew we were gonna forget. You were saying about the book.
Oh, so
You didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what it was about, but when you emailed me and I was like, "Oh, I guess I am going to be on it." So I started reading this, and it's very lonely being a disruptor.
Yes.
It's very lonely to be thinking differently from everybody else.
Yes.
But this book felt very validating, and it's so well researched, and the examples of these amazing people that did disrupt and followed their intuition or their compass or their voice or their higher calling was encouraging. I mean, I'm already too far gone. I have to keep doing it, but
Right.
but I could see how it's very encouraging to people who are starting out to be, because you define it.
Yes.
Whereas maybe there isn't a book that defines being someone who thinks differently, who
Right.
does things differently. And I think we need to encourage more of that, because the groupthink is it's while I think it's good to be part of a collective, I think that it's safe, it becomes comfortable, and then growth is not, it doesn't feel good to
Yeah.
grow.
Mhm.
Growth is really uncomfortable, and I think a lot of young people who are seeing all these fabulous people being fabulous, they don't know the hard work that goes into growing and being fabulous, whether or not that is actually true. So I don't know. I just felt like this book was a breath of fresh air.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, I felt like, again, from when we met, I just thought, oh, she's definitely, and then, looking at the titles, and I was peeking around the corner talking to your husband, and I just thought, this is, this kind of message that really I feel that I want to get out there, because I do feel, and, for the next generation, the mindset will always be, to your point, you have to be popular or rich, or there's some kind of thing, success that you got to get to. And I think if you're just your authentic self, if you're just that, use whatever superpower you have. Like, I don't, we talked about this. We have I'm a man. I don't know, just, I'm a man. But I'm doing a women's meeting in the fall, and everybody's like, "Moo, why are you so passionate about doing a meeting that you might not even be able to go to?" And I said, I just feel like there are so many people out there that have superpowers that are being told that they're less than. I mean, the whole idea of imposter syndrome is absolute foolishness. Like, the idea that I feel uncomfortable because I'm not supposed to be here. That's terrible. That's a terrible thing. And then you teach people, you say, oh, you have imposter syndrome. Let me show you how to really fit in, how to really be like somebody else. No, to me, there's no such thing. You have a superpower, and you have kryptonite. You have things that I'm bad at. And, but instead of focusing on what I'm bad at, focus on what you're amazing at and change the world with that. So that's, hopefully that comes through the book. And like yourself, I mean, you motivated me also, because I think, like, for me, you just keep writing, like you say, just keep putting it out there. You have to put the content out there, and it'll resonate with some, and it may not resonate with others, and that's okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, any last words for the audience out there? I guess I don't have to tell an actress to look at the camera.
They know.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many.
Yeah, there are a lot in here. There's one
so
there,
many.
this one there, this one there.
Last parting words is follow your soul, follow the calling, and you won't know exactly what that thing is you're supposed to do, but your compass will point you in the direction you need to be, and whatever you're interested in, learn about it, and you'll find it that way, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So that means take a speech class, then go work at H&R Block and take tackle. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But seriously, yes, follow your follow your soul. Be yourself. And we appreciate you so much for coming. I know you came a long way.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
so
you for
much.
inviting me. I'm
Uh,
very happy to be here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.